Hello guys, I hope you all are doing great. So in the last lecture, we discussed the half section of this July month currently magazine, right? So in this today's lecture, we are going to discuss the remaining part of this July month magazine, and as the August month magazine also being released by the Vision IS. Okay, so we will proceed accordingly afterwards. Okay, so let us start the remaining part of this July month magazine. So first section, it's of course is security. Okay, internal security. So the news actually you have seen, you might have seen there has been a lot of increase in the terrorism activities with respect to Jammu region. Okay, so why it is so? The reason being there are many multiple reasons by the way. First, it's reactivation of proxy war. Basically, Pakistan want to establish its relevance, right? Okay, because the reason is this. The article 370 has been abrogated by the article by the parliament. Okay, so what actually in the Kashmir Valley the situation has relatively improved, while uh, as it Pakistan wants to maintain its relevance with respect to terrorism activity. So what it's actually focused, it transferred from Kashmir Valley to Jammu region. Okay. Secondly, in the Jammu region, the security situation not that much intense level. Okay. In the case of, if we talk about Kashmir region, there is high security alert is there, right? So that's why that is also reason. Further, as you were knowing, in 2022 there was Galan crisis happened between China and India. So that is something we have pulled out, those kind of forces from the great Jammu region to Ladakh. We have transferred. Okay, so of course, like this region has been in mid, right? So that has not been. That is some big reasons. What we can do, like with respect to the terrorism activities, are there? Like, what is the especially overall? If we talk about JNK region, that is Union Territory of JNK. So there are like many factors. Like, of course, state-sponsored terrorism. Pakistan is like big, the player in this part. Second, porous borders facilitating infiltration, because you will be seeing the hilly region, the like JNK region is completely hilly region. There you can't have fencing, those kind of fencing, but still you can have, but you can't have deploy at every point. So whenever they get chance, they get infiltrate. Okay, and further, ideology influences from global extreme groups. Okay, with the help of this social media, it's very easy to manipulate, to brainwash someone, right? So radical groups do target such kind of vulnerable sections of the society. That's how the innocent people becomes terrorist. That is something. Now further, internal, we talk about internally, as there has been political instability, there has not been elections, since 2019, and before that as well, there was president rule. So, in among the masses, there is a lot of disappointment with respect to the democracy and other human rights issues. So they choose the shortcut, right? That kind of thing they are there. Further, there is recent ethical tensions as well. In the Hindu-Muslim conflict is always there, right, with respect to Kashmir. So that is something there. Further, imposition is power, armed forces special powers act, which gives armed forces so much powers. Like, okay, so that is some there is a lot of accusations of human right violations with respect to ESPA. Further, there has been widespread internet shutdowns in the valley and arbitrary detentions, as we knowing, like the government has detained many political leaders as well. What measures we have taken as far as, like, we recently in 2019 we have abrogated Article 370. And then we have also run operation called All Out 2017 with respect to improve the security situation in JNK region. Then we have also have run some other uh, missions as well, like Operation Sadbhavna. Actually, it has been asked in UPSC 2024. Okay, so you can just think about it. Okay, it has been asked which aspect, like Indian military has operated like this kind of operation. So there are four options, and you have to choose one. And rehabilitation policy for ex-militant, like those who have earlier Buran Ghost and now has been tried to bring in the mainstream. So that is something government is doing. Moving to the next topic, that is recently government actually has appointed additional national security advisor. That's why National Security Council secretary is in the news. Okay, so let's see like what is the role of this secretariat. Basically, it's an apex advisory body with respect to all external and internal security related matters. It is actually headed by NSA, that is National Security Advisor. Currently, he is, like, of course, Ajit Doval is a NSA, and the secretary to the NSA. Okay, moving to the next, what is the structure of this body? Okay, firstly, uh, you need to understand one thing here. The Prime Minister of the country is the chairman of National Security Council. Thereby, there lies National Security Advisor (NSA). Afterwards, there is additional National Security Advisory, which is recently has been appointed by Gujarat government. Afterwards, there are like five members: Deputy NSA with respect to technology, intelligence, strategy affairs, internal affairs, and military advisor and national maritime security corridor. So these two important. Okay, you can just think about. You can remember these two. And with respect to the chairman of the NCA, the chairman of the NCA is our prime minister, while there are other members, including military advisor and national maritime security coordinator. Moving to the next, what are those threats are there with respect to internal security challenges? So, as we know, there is a lot of hypocrisy with respect to Western world, especially with respect to USA. It is said. Then uh, there has been continuous foreign interference in our domestic affairs with respect to elections, with respect to abrogation of Article 370 and other the violations of human rights with respect to minorities. And another reason, like as we will be saying, there has been a lot of dominance with respect to China in the Indian Ocean region and other even on the border as well. Okay, so that is something we need to be very much take care of. Then we talk about National Security Council. It's a study part. Then, of course, I said Prime Minister is the head of the council. It actually was suggested by KC Pant Committee in 1919. And other members include Minister of Finance, Defense, Home Minister, and Affairs Minister. So these are four cabinet ministers, also the members of this council. Then you can just remember these are the important thing. Then National Security Advisory Board, you need to remember it actually is headed by the National Security Advisor. So actually in 2024 there was question with us to CDS. Okay, so he heads his type of departments, like what is the role. So in the in upcoming prelims there might be asking with question might be question with respect to National Security Advisor. So you just need to remember this thing. Moving to the next topic, that is security of Indian dignitaries. As you will knowing, there was like assassination attempt uh, of former US President Mr. Donald Trump. Okay, so there has been serious concerns has been in the news. What like whether we should increase the security of our national dignitaries as well. So basically, our security arrangement with Indian dignitaries there uh, has been provided by the Union government. Okay, so there are kind of the security guidelines are divided into two categories, that is blue book and yellow book. Okay, blue book covers securities for president, vice president, prime minister. These are the three highest dignitaries in India. Okay, and while yellow book contains other individuals who are of importance. Okay, so just for example, yellow book covers Z plus, Z, Y plus, Y and X categories. Even private citizens can also have this kind of security if they are threatened. Like now Salman Khan is also having this kind of security, as you knowing. So many other like who are threatened, so they can avail this kind of. Sometimes they have to pay by their from their pocket also. So yeah. Then we talk about our the prime minister, the security of our prime minister. That is, he is protected by the Special Protection Groups (SPG). You must have heard the name of this group. Basically, it is regulated by the Special Protection Group Act 1988, and it's actually an armed force, and it has to. Its actually obligation is to provide security to the prime minister, both serving and former, and the immediate family members as well. So, what does it mean? So, like wherever prime minister have a journey with respect to role data, then also they have to provide security. Responsibility of other authorities, like whenever if suppose the prime minister is going to an estate, okay, so their security actually lies, the responsibility security lies with the police administration of the state. Okay, so you just need to remember, and also some central agencies are central intelligence agencies also being held to provide inputs, like if there is any threat. So accordingly, the action is being taken. Next, moving to the next, if you talk about there has been IT disruption. There was like as you know, there has been with respect to Microsoft, there was CrowdStrike outrise with respect to Microsoft. Okay, that's why they think the news. And as you knowing, in 2022 there was security breach, cybersecurity breach with respect to Kundakulam nuclear power plant. Okay, basically this Kundakulam nuclear power plant is a joint collaboration of US and India, and we also are very vulnerable because we are mostly important import dependent country, right? We import many like commodities with respect to the mainly being the crude oil. Then, if you talk about, we have large digital footprint with this low digital literacy, because people, especially in the rural areas, very not that much literate with respect to digital platforms. So, as was there was a report with respect to Central Board for Workers Education, only 38% of households in India are digital literate. So, the rest of the population is not digital literate. Can you imagine? So, it's very easy for the scammers, to target such kind of audience. Further, there has been state-sponsored terror attacks. Okay, so we need to take care of that as well. If what measures we have taken with respect to improve the cybersecurity situation in India? So we have platforms like CERT-in. Okay, we have also have made digital personal data protection act in 2023. So this kind of action the government of India has taken. If we talk about next topic, that is urban nationalism, there has been a bill by the state government of Maharashtra. That is the bill named as Maharashtra Special Public Safety Bill 2024, aimed at curbing the increasing of nationalism in urban areas. So this bill actually tries to cope up with this nationalism in urban areas. It actually says if there is any such kind of organization which is indulged in unlawful activity, then it has the power. Okay, so power to declare this illegal, and the district magistrate or police commissioner can grant permission for prosecution of such kind of organizations. Further, uh, as you know, through under UPA Act also, any organization can be declared illegal. Okay, and further, if you talk about ecstatic part of nationalism, then you must be thinking it is also called as left-wing extremism, and it is basically kind of extreme ideology where the followers of this ideology doesn't believe in the democracy, and they want to overthrow the current regime and want through violent means and want to establish their kind of communist government. Okay, so that is something they are looking for, and you just need that is Nexel body and everything has already been you can cover in internal security. That is static part, by the way. Going to the next, that is SEBEX 2, new explosive formulation. So what you need to understand, if there is in the news that if in the paper there is using with respect to CBs recently seen in the news. So what it is? So it is actually high melting explosive. So just you need to remember this small information. SEBEX 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the high melting explosives. Okay. Moving to the next topic, that is Rudram 1. Basically, Rudram is the first indigenous anti-radiation missile. Okay, you just need to remember this thing. And Rudram first was air-to-surface missile developed by DRDO. So these two informations are reported from a exam perspective. You can skip this kinds of many micro information, because even if you try to memorize this information, I don't think till exam time you will be able to recall this kind of thing. So try to focus on those areas which you can command on, not the areas which like you are sure it's very tough to remember this kind of micro information. That's why I'm just skipping those information which I don't think you can remember. If you can remember, there will be a lot of confusion with respect to other missiles and this kind of things. Okay, so that's why I'm just moving forward. If you talk about exercise in the news, the nomadic exercise was very big in the news even in 2023. Now also in the news. Basically, it's a joint military exercise between armies of India and Mongolia. So you just need to remember this is nomadic elephant exercise, that is between the Mongolia and India. It actually being conducted in Meghalaya district, Meghalaya district of India. Exercise Maitri has been with respect to India and Thailand, and there has been one further exercise, that is Rim of Pacific exercise, that is RIMPEC, in Hawaii Islands, where many countries has participated in this exercise. So it's the international multilateral, world's largest international multilateral maritime exercise. Of course, India has taken part. That's why in the news. Going to the next section, that is environment section. Okay. High seas treaty. Actually, this treaty was also in the news in 2023 as well. Now also in the news. Basically, what has happened? Our Union Cabinet has approved India to sign, means India can sign the biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction (BBNJ), biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction agreement. This is also known as high seas treaty. The Ministry of Earth Sciences obviously is the nodal ministry under this. Okay, this is the ministry responsible for such kind of signing agreements. First, we need to understand what does mean high seas. Okay, as you knowing, as I already told you many times, till 200 nautical miles we have exclusive economic zone. Okay, where any country can exercise its rights with respect to explorations. Okay, they can explore, like they can extract the minerals or whatever the important thing they want to extract. So that is the comes under territory of a country. Okay, with respect to ocean. Okay, open oceans. Then so basically high seas means beyond this 200 nautical miles. Now that is known as high seas. Okay, you just need to remember currently high seas constitutes constitutes about 64% of total oceans region, and that is roughly 2/3. And in this region, if you talk about this high seas region, everyone enjoys equal rights. What I would say, let me suppose this is the Indian South India. Okay, this is we have Arabian Sea, this is we have Bay of Bengal, and here we have Arabian that is Indian Ocean. Okay, so here is the Sri Lanka. Okay, here Sri Lanka also is economic exclusive economic zone, by the way. So what will happen beyond this 200 nautical miles? Suppose this is 205 nautical miles. Okay, here any country, every country of the globe has the equal right as India does. Okay, so here like you can't explore or exploit without the permission of UNCLOS or this kind of body which actually regulates all kind of things. Okay, so what I was telling you, yeah. Let's talk about BBNJ agreement. Okay, that is basically biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction. Biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction. Okay. So basically, till exclusive economic zone, it is considered as national jurisdiction. So formally, it is called as a convention on sustainable use of marine biology diversity. You can just remember the name because the UPSC can use this name as well. Okay. So you might get confused. You might think of other treaty or something, but you need to remember this biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction is also known as conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity. Okay. So this is in the news, very much news. So you have to remember these things. If we talk about UN clause, so basically treaty has been signed under United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas. That is the regulatory body in high seas. Then further, if we talk about its third implementation agreement, by the way, first it was in 1994, part 11 implementing agreement with respect to exploration and extraction of mineral resources and international seabed area. If we talk about the next agreement that was signed in 1995, that is UN Fish Stocks Agreement, which actually talks about migratory fish stocks. So whatever the fish are there, okay, which actually migrate from one area to other in oceans. So how to regulate these kinds of fish and who can just catch these tricks, or like fishing can be done by which country. So this has been regulations has been with respect to, as every has been mentioned in UN Fish Stocks Agreement. If we talk about this particular agreement, BBNJ agreement, so it actually follows the polluter pays principle. Basically, it says whichever the country, okay, does explore anything from beyond EEZ, okay, exclusive economic zone. So if country is polluting the marine ecosystem, okay, of the region, then this country is responsible for its conservation as well. It also follows the principle of equity, not equality. So it's the principle of equity. These two things are important. You just can remember this. Others are you can skip. Okay. Going to the if we talk about it actually will not apply to any warship, military aircraft, or naval auxiliary. Like if you talk about maritime force, if you talk about navy or something, so it won't apply to these kinds of the ships, the vessels they carry. If even they causes the pollution in ocean basin, so that they won't be like punished for that. So you just remember they have been given exception. Okay. Then actually with the the intention, basically the idea of this kind of agreement came into conference of parties. Okay. And basically the conference of parties are also the main decision making body in this with regard to this agreement. And basically you need to understand key who is actually funding this agreement, like how will this kind of treaty will be implemented. So obviously you need funds, right? So Global Facility Fund Trust Fund that actually is providing funds for this kind of initiative, this treaty. And also there are some special trust fund where people can contribute or can donate. Okay. So you just need to remember these two names, Global Facility Fund and Special Trust Fund, that are funding actually BBNJ agreement. Four substantive elements of BBNJ agreement has been marine genetic resources, whereby including fair and equitable sharing of benefits. That also talks about Nagoya Protocol, also talks about such kind of things, sharing of equal benefits with respect to forest resources. Okay. Then it also talks about marine protected areas, as we have like forest protected areas, national parks, wildlife sanctuary. Similarly, it's also advocates for marine protected areas, right? Then it also talks about environment impact assessment. Actually, it is in our syllabus in GS3. Okay. So of course, it also by if anyone going to explore, like extract minerals from any region, in ocean region. So what going to impact, like what was will be the impacts of this exploration? So the pre-assessment will be done, and accordingly the auction take place. Okay, and everything. Then further there is other element that's called capacity building and the transfer of marine technology. So that is also element you can remember. It's just very clear with the name itself. No need to explain. Then there is some fact you can just remember. You can also use in the answers this kind of facts. So United Nations estimates there are about 17 million tons of plastic which is dumped in oceans in 2021. Can you imagine? In the single year, 17 million tons of plastic was dumped. Okay, so that is a very concern for as a humanity. Agreement. As you conclude, what can you conclude? So agreement will play a critical role in achieving decent, ambitious initiative to protect 30% of marine ecosystem by 2023. So wherever there is this kind of initiative, so you just need to remember key 30 cross 30 means you have to protect 30% of marine ecosystem by 2023. So can you just if there might be your sense, okay, like might be a statement with this 13 to 30. So it's about you have to save 30% of marine ecosystem till 2023. Okay. Going to the static part, that is UN clause. United Nations United Nations Convention on Law of the Seas. It also known as Laws of the Sea itself. Then it is actually comprehensive international agreement, as I already told you. It actually regulates, okay, the with respect to seas and oceans everywhere on the globe. It was adopted in 1982, came into force in 1994, and currently there are 117 state parties are its member, including India, and it is also known as Constitution of the Ocean. So it is the parent organization or convention, you can say, with respect to oceans regulation. What are the provisions? You can just remember there is also international seabed authority which actually regulates mining and related activities on the ocean floor with respect to uh, high seas. Okay, beyond nation jurisdiction means beyond nation exclusive economic zone. So then, if you talk about, there has been a demarcation. Okay, so territorial seas extend to 12 nautical miles, where a state enjoys complete sovereignty. It's kind of like integrated part, like mainland part. Okay, territorial sea you can think like it's like a suppose if you talk about our India itself, we take example. So it's if it's, this is the idea. Okay, very near to you can say Karnataka region. Okay, Karnataka state. So suppose this it's comes in the territorial sea. So India will have the similar rights as it has the on its mainland. Okay, so territorial sea is like it's not enjoy complete sovereignty. While we talk about continuous zone, it extends to 12 24 nautical miles, where state has limited information authority, enforcement authority with respect to prevent infringements, like the people who illegally try to enter into territory of other country into a territorial zone. So it's kind of this thing. If you talk about exclusive economic zone, it's extended to 200 nautical miles, where a coastal state doesn't enjoy this full sovereignty, but it has the rights and jurisdiction with respect to conservation and exploration of minerals. Okay, so high seas is already told it's beyond the exclusive economic zone. Seabed zoning authorities, seabed zoning system is whereby you will see in the geography study part, you will see continental shelf and this kinds of thing. You are going to see there. So moving to the next topic, that is urban developments and disaster resilience. As you will be seeing, there has been frequent disasters in India, like in many cities. Okay, so that has been shows our unpreparedness with respect to floods. Okay, in the country. So why there has been so many floods? Firstly, population centers has been there. Like 30% of India outlet resides in cities. So that is even projected to grow 40% by year 2023. So that is a very big burden the cities are going to face in times to come. Then, if we talk about examples, like with respect to climate change, in August 2023, Simla and Solan district of Himachal Pradesh like have seen so much intense landslides. Even as you've seen, like the Wayanad also has faced such kind of one of the greatest disaster, like so also floods has been there, right? So in the last year you have seen, like in Uttarakhand, even in the Himachal Pradesh, right? So this kind of things are there. There is a concept called disaster resilient city. You can use these kinds of terms, or even in the terms you can mention in your way forward or solutions, right? In your answer writing, what does it mean by this disaster resilient? There are basically some criteria which must fulfill by this disaster resilient city, DRC. Firstly, it must be sensible, like building codes. There must be sensible building codes are followed. Informal settlements are not built in vulnerable areas. Vulnerable areas means, suppose if there is like this is a river called Ganga, so you need to understand this is its area. Okay, so you shouldn't like construct houses on this flood zone. So you should construct houses beyond that. Okay, so these areas are called vulnerable areas. Then if you talk about there must be inclusivity, competent and accountable local government. As we have seen in this July month magazine itself, there has been Internet Center for Audit account. Okay, in the Rajkot has been opened. So there we have seen like there has been immense need to empower the local bodies. Okay, so as it has been the vision of our like nation father, that is Mr. Mahatma Gandhi. So moving to the as we knowing, there has been DM Act called Disaster Management Act 2005. There has been many initiatives obviously has been taken with respect to improve the situation with respect to urban disaster resilience. We have also National Policy on Disaster Management 2019, which talks about to build a safe disaster resilient India by developing a holistic, proactive, multi-disaster oriented and technology-driven strategy. So you could just mention like these kinds of things, what steps we already taken. So Disaster Management Act, National Policy on Disaster Management 2019. Other schemes include Atal Mission on Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, that is called Amrut, Housing for All, and Smart Cities Mission, which we are going to see in this magazine at the last and in detail. Okay, these are the schemes you can mention. Ki what steps Amrut, housing for all, and smart cities mission. These are the three, and plus disaster management 5, nation policy on disaster management 9. So these are the 5 steps. Basically, major steps have been taken by our government of India. Then what are those challenges we are facing? So as per the Niti Aayog says 60% of Indian cities currently do not have a master plan. So that is a very big concern. You can answer, you can mention such kind of facts in your answers that will fetch more marks to you. Then if you talk about there is concept called urban heat island, as you knowing, because what happens, urban space increasingly being covered with concrete and asphalt. That is the material that is being for road construction. Experience of green, basically, like suppose this is a greenery, okay, and you want to suppose this is the greenery. Once again, this is the plants and trees are there in the region, and you want to construct roads here. So you will use alphabet and this kind of thing. So during the heat days, like especially in the summer, this will go so much hotter, and like it will act as heat island. Okay. So moving to the next way forward, we can use like corporate social responsibility funding can also be used for disaster resilient activities, and public private partnership PPP model should be followed also here as well. So this kind of things you can use in your answers. Moving to the next basically topic, that is landslides. As you already I mentioned above, like there has been like intense worst landslides in the recent history has been faced by Wayanad district of Kerala, where Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been like member of parliament from there. Now he is from Uttar Pradesh itself. Okay, so he has also won from here as well. Now he's from Raebareli. Okay, like he is MP from Raebareli. So earlier he was from MP from Wayanad district. That's why this district has been like always has been in the news. So what happened actually? So there has been worst landslide in the recent history. So we can imagine there has been a lot of deaths, and there has been destruction of life and property on a large scale. So if you talk about facts, so as per India landslide susceptibility map, around 13% of countries susceptible to landslides, and 5% is very highly susceptible. So can you imagine, if we have 100% like geographical area, then 30% the part of the area is susceptible, vulnerable to the landslides, while 5% is very vulnerable with respect to landslides. So if you talk about the state of Sikkim, which is the first organic state in India, which has 57% landslide prone areas, while Kerala outside the Himalayas has 14% of land, which is very vulnerable with respect to landslides. So these two states you can mention your answers. Okay, so what are those causes basically for the landslides? So basically, it is a very static part. By the way, landslide has been asked in the in geography section. Okay, in men's exam. So this is very important section. You just need to remember, and you can revise in the geography also. So there are two kind of areas. Like here we have Himalayan region, we have Western Ghats, right? So basically, the terrain or the composition of these regions are different. Okay, you need to understand first. So there has been some different kinds of regions like for the landslides. Okay, in these two regions. So if you talk about if you talk about Himalayan regions are tectonically, it's like active. Like there has been formation like Himalayan thing being formed. Okay, even today, because it's colliding with Indian plate is colliding with Eurasian plate. Okay, and Indian plate is subsidizing. Okay, so there will be, of course, there will be instability. Further, there is very loose sediments are there. If you talk about, there is a big hydropower plants are there to generate electricity. So this kind of reservoir puts a lot of pressure on the surface, basically on the earth. Okay, so then there has been widespread development activities like widening of roads, large construction projects has been there, which actually further make the condition worse with respect to fragile environment ecosystem. Because Indian Himalayan region, we have studied I think if you talk about in the June month magazine about Indian Himalayan region, the susceptibility or the vulnerability of this region. So we have seen there it's a very fragile environment. We have to be very take care of this environment. If you talk about Western Ghats, so basically they are generally monsoon induced landslides. Okay, so like if there is more rain, so obviously there will be the soil will be in the situation that will be susceptible to the landslides. Then we talk about also Western Ghats are very steep in their, like Western Ghats are like this. Okay, so it's very easy, to have like landslide to happen. So there is a steep slope. They have not when the Himalaya region we have gentle slope. Okay, so it's like gentle slope, while Western Ghats are very steep in the slope. Okay, then we'll talk about there has been some new tectonic activity. Why? Because there has been seen geographers have observed some uh, recent tectonic moments. Okay, so that also one of the reason for such kind of widespread landslides. Deforestation, obviously, it is like the cause behind many problems we are facing today. Of course, then anthropogenic activity, as we all been knowing. Going to the next section of this, what steps have we already taken with respect to landslides for mitigation of landslides? So we have a system called early warning forecasting system, whereby Geological Survey of India has established National Landslide Forecasting Center in Kolkata to enhance landslides prediction. So, so you can use such kind of information in your answers. Further, by the Geographical Survey of India, there has been some digital platforms like Bhusan Kate Web Portal and Bhusan Kalan mobile app. Okay, so it is about with respect to sharing information of landslide forecast. So this is the map of landslides vulnerability. So this region, the Himalayan region, is very susceptible, very vulnerable, as you can see. So it's also called Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh. Okay, even in some Janki region as well. Then if you talk about Sikkim, as well, 50% is around 51%. Area is susceptible to the landslides. Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram are also very vulnerable with respect to landslides. This the Western Ghat is very susceptible, as we have seen. Wayanad is located on the Western Ghat itself. Uh, you must be knowing this Sendai framework is there, which actually talks about disaster risk reduction from 2015 to 2030. So obviously, you must be knowing this is a framework which really talks about many disasters, not just about landslide, floods, fires, everything. Okay, drought, everything. So this is a this is a comprehensive framework with respect to disaster prevention. Moving to the next topic, that is International Solar Alliance. Recently, the Prague, that is a South American country, has joined this International Solar Alliance (ISA). Has become 100th member to join the this alliance. So we need to understand the strategic part of this alliance. Okay. So basically, the Secretariat of International Solar Alliance is located in Gurugram in India, and actually it was launched by France and India in combined in 2015 at UN Paris Climate Change Conference. Okay, and it's basically TTB international organization that is talks about green energy, that is solar energy. Okay, technology, solar energy technologies. Okay, it's advocates for helps these kinds of least developing countries and small island countries. Okay, and all UN members can become the member of this alliance, and it plays a very critical role with respect to energy transition from fossil fuel based energy to the green energy. So that is the role. And structure, you can see assembly is the apex decision making body, while secretariat with director general committees are there with respect to standing and regional committees. Okay, so one thing I want to tell you in advance, like India has taken like 2 to 3 independent, such kind of initiative. Like if you talk about India has uh, like CDRA, climate disaster resilient infrastructure. So this is initiative we have also discussed earlier as well. So this is initiative has been launched by India. Then Biofuel Alliance, it was launched in G20 meeting, Biofuel Alliance. So this 3 initiative was very important from the exam perspective, and this international alliance. So this climate disaster resilient infrastructure, Biofuel Alliance, and international solar alliance. These are initiatives are very important from UPSC exam perspective. So you need to understand, you need to remember this the facts with respect to these initiatives that is taken by India. Uh, like as I told, this Global Biofuel Alliance is also the initiative by India, and we have also taken an initiative called Green Hydrogen Innovation Center as well. So that is not much important, but yeah, you can just remember the name. Okay, but with respect to this Global Biofuel Alliance, ISA and CDRI, you need to remember the macro details about it. Okay, under this alliance, with respect to this international alliance, we have initiatives such as One Sun, One World, One Grid. Okay, so through this initiative, we actually aspire to connect different regional grids. Okay, through common grid that will use to transfer renewable energy power. So this is basically globe. What I want to say to you, what does it mean? So we are located near to basically this is the topic of Cancer. This is topic of Capricorn. So we are located here, okay, in the north hemisphere, in the eastern part. Okay, so what like India aspires basically through this one sun, one world, one grid. Okay, so basically India says ki what we can do. Suppose if you connect all the our pile, like power lines with other countries, like suppose we connect with the USA, so what will happen, like in our in this planet there will be places, like of course where now sun will be there now in 24 hours. Like if it will be in 24 for India, like Indian region, then it will be on the other parts as well, the opposite part of the earth, right? So what this initiative means basically to connect all the grids, and if suppose the sun is on the, like sun is on the USA, country. So we can connect, and we can the solar panels can be used for generate electricity and can reach to the India, like other countries. So it is like completely connecting the world with common grid. So that is the aspiration of this initiative. Moving to the next thing, that is International Solar Festival. That is also the initiative. You just need to remember. Okay, the name of this initiative is of course with respect to it comes under International Solar Alliance. Then there has been some case studies. You can might be asked even in the prelims exams as well, and also if it doesn't come the exam in mains also, you can use answers. In the answers you can use such kind of case studies. So India's first floating solar plant is at Kayamkulam in Kerala. Has been established. Surya Nutan, a hybrid kitchen connected indoor solar cooking solution by Indian Oil Corporation. So basically, Surya Nutan is actually the kitchen, the basically hybrid kitchen which actually cooks food through solar energy. Okay. Then canal top solar panels on Sardar Sarovar project. So basically, it's in located in the Gujarat. So of course on the Narbanda River. Then if you talk about North Sea one, so it's the first offshore solar sea farm in solar farm solar sea farm in Netherlands. So you just need to remember, means it is located in the the like ocean region, basically in the water body. Okay, so this is the first such kind of thing is there in the world. Then Solsair, a Bangladeshi startup, is revolutionizing a solar peer-to-peer electricity trading system through an internet information communication technology enabled network. So this kind of thing you can remember, even in the you can mention in the answers as well. One second. Going to the next topic, that is Great Indian Bustard. Why it in the news? Because our Environment Ministry has recently approved funds for next phase for the conservation of this bustard recovery program. Okay, for 2000 till 2029. So what is this? Actually, this bustard recovery program includes these two basically four species, basically like are the part of the bustard family, but these two critical birds are actually covered under this bustard recovery program. The birds are like Great Indian Bustard, that is the national bird, state bird of Rajasthan, and lesser florican. Okay, so these two birds are covered under this bird bustard recovery program. Another two we have in India, we have four bustard like species. Among the two are above, while two remaining Bengal florican and Makwan bustard. So let's first know about lesser florican, because it's a very important species. So it is the smallest bird of bustard family. Just need to remember its protection status is very important. Okay, you need to remember. And so it's covered in the schedule first and schedule 4 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972, and it is critically endangered. So you can understand, like it is about to extinct if we do not take adequate step to protect it. Then if you talk about like where it is found, basically it's found in like highest number is in the state of Rajasthan, then followed by Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. The threats, what are threats like it's facing? So basically it's the pesticides uses in breeding grounds. So that is the big reason. That's why they are so they're not able to survive. So just pesticide is the one of the big reason for their decline in the population. If we talk about Great Indian Bustard, we will have a better look about it, because it's this is very important. This Great Indian Bustard has been in news for a very long time. So I expect at least one question from Great Indian Bustard, or either from this like lesser florican. Okay. So currently we have 140 Great Indian Bustards and fewer than 1,000 lesser floricans in India. Like most of great Indian bustards are found in the Dajit National Park, around the National Park that is located in the Jaisalmer district. Okay, to Rajasthan. This the bird recovery program that is implemented by Wildlife Institute of India. Funding is provided by Compensatory Forestation Fund Management and Planning Authority. So Kempa is providing fund for. So you can just look at this species that is Great Indian Bustard. This is the lesser florican. If we talk about Great Indian Bustard, so you must know their conservation status. So it's critically endangered again. Same lesser florican and both lesser florican and Great Indian Bustard are critically endangered. If sufficient distance doesn't being need top enough, so there is a very much high probability of getting their extinct. Okay, then it is covered under Schedule 1 and Schedule 4 of Wildlife Protection Act. Under sites, comes under Appendix 1. What are those key characteristics, merits or like the qualities this bird has? So if you talk about habitat, is found in agro grassland bird endemic to Indian subcontinent. Population of which mostly confined to state of Rajasthan and Gujarat. Small population also occurs in state of Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh as well. But the major population, as I already told, is found in the Rajasthan only, and like some of also in the Gujarat. It is omnivorous bird. You just need to remember, as we are humans are omnivorous. So this bird is also omnivorous. Threats, it's facing predation. Of course, the dogs and cats are like hunting like objects and the birds. Power lines are a very big concern because what happens like this is the power line through which electricity is passing. So what this happen like when this great Indian bus tries to fly now, so they will can't fly too longer and they will like have this current. Okay, so yeah, that's why they get die. Then there are some organophosphate pesticides are also the reason, as we have seen with respect to the lesser florican. So here also they are facing respect to pesticides. What are the steps we have taken? Okay, to protect these vulnerable birds. So there has been key habitat designated as national park sanctuaries. Like as I told you, Dajit National Park is a very significant habitat for the Great Indian Bustard that is found in the Jaisalmer district of Rajasthan. Then Nalia grassland, that is Lala Bustard Wildlife Sanctuary. So these are the two protected areas which are very famous with respect to Great Indian Bustard. And also, if we talk about the breeding, okay, the efforts that is being taken by forest authorities. So the Great Indian Bustard Conservation Breeding Center has been functioning in Rajasthan, same that is in Ramdevra, that is also located in Jaisalmer. Okay, moving to the next topic, that is soil health. Why it in the news? Reason being that UNESCO has pledged to support its members to establish World Soil Health Index. Okay, so it is actually aspired to establish World Soil Health Index. So before we get into the advanced news, first let's cover the static portion. So soil is basically a mixture of rock and minerals. Okay, so basically it's of course it is a mixture of rock and organic materials. Like rock contains also minerals. Organic materials, if any animals die or like any living being dies. Okay, so when it will get degraded, so it will also form the soil as well. And of course minerals are the part of the soil. They also. So if you talk about soil profile, soil is kind of categorized in 6 parts. Okay, so the uppermost layer is known as O horizon loose, where primarily decayed organic matter is found. Okay, organic. I said na, if animal or living being dies na, so they get degraded or found in the uppermost layer of this soil. Then comes the layer of A origin, where mineral matter mixed with some humus. Humus is found in this section. Okay. Then if you talk about third layer, that is E origin, where basically zone of leaching is found. Okay, so this is the zone where the leaching takes place. Then the next layer is B origin, where the accumulation of clay happens. Okay, like this is where the clay is actually deposited. Okay, then the next layer comes of C origin, that is partially altered parent material. So it is basically the material is like almost like parent material, but a little bit has been altered because of in the contact with the clay material. And the last is of course the parent material, that is bedrock. This R section. So you can just remember O A E B C A sorry O A E B C A B C. Okay, so O means like is organic material is there. Then we will have humus. Then we will have leaching process will take then clay, then partially altered material, then this parent material. So this is uh, the soil profile. Moving to the fact, that is, as per the World Atlas of Desertification, 70% of the soils are already degraded. Can you imagine? So this is a very global problem we are facing. So you can use in your answers such kind of data. Then we talk about in India. If you talk about Punjab region, so around 50% of the arable land in Punjab has been damaged due to salinity, as we have seen due to this green revolution. So there has been a lot of damage to the soil fertility because of widespread use of fertilizers, pesticides, and groundwater. So that has been the cause for such kind of things to happen. Moving to the next section, that is what steps we have already taken, okay, to improve the health, soil health. So we have obviously we have been promoting the organic farming, and the Sikkim is the first organic state. So then we have Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. We have Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture (MIDH). Then we have National Mission for on oil seeds and oil palms. You must be knowing we are a very import dependent country with respect to oil, edible oil. Okay, so the government of India is promoting the cultivation of the edible oil crops. Okay, so that's why the National Mission on oil seeds and oil palm came into picture. If you talk about soil health card, so basically you need to understand it's actually is part of also the environment section. Okay, so basically if you talk about micronutrients, macro, then NPK is there, obviously nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are actually the macronutrients, while sulfur is the only secondary nutrient. If you talk about micronutrients, then zinc, iron, copper, manganese, boron are the part of the micronutrients series, while there are some physical parameters where you can know the condition of the soil, the health of the soil. You can know like pH value, like whether it is acidic, whether it's neutral, or like it's a acidic or base. So you can understand. So these kind of things you just need to understand. uh, we have actually improved some forest cover as well. So we have been completely like we have been like hearing, like the negative things we are doing as a humans, like on the globe. But as India, we have doing some good job as well. Like we have improved our forest cover as well. So as per India State of Forest Report 2021, in 2 years, total forest and tree cover has increased by 2,000 square kilometer in India. So you can use in answers the achievements of India and the sensitivity we have, like with respect to our environment and forest. Then if you talk about bone challenge at the global level, what initiatives has been taken? So bone challenge place has been taken. Actually, it actually aspired to bring 150 million hectares of degraded and deforested landscapes into restoration. Okay. So what you need to understand from this bone challenge? So it actually talks about you know to prevent the soil this kinds of the degradation and bring to restore such kind of soils to its earlier stage. So these kinds of things you just remember. These are very important from Dylan's perspective. This bone challenge. Moving to the next section. Sorry, that is short news. Recently, Food and Agriculture Organization released State of World Forest Report 2024. So that is something you can just remember. Like this is report is being launched by FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. That is the body of UN. Okay. So if you talk about India, India ranked third for average annual net gain in forest area from 2010 to 2020. So just remember, you can also use it as achievement. Okay, so like this is something you can use in your answers. The initiative it has taken with respect to improve the forest cover. So like there has been initiative in where been like India's joint forest management program mandates one-third female representation in committees. So even in any question comes in, with respect to women empowerment. So use this example. Means like India's joint forest management program mandates one-third female participation on committees. So India's joint forest management program actually mandates one-third women participation on committees. So this is a very progressive steps that India has taken. Then we talk about United Nations Water Convention. So this convention actually recently has been joined by Ivory Coast, that is African country. Ivory Coast actually located in the southwest part of Africa. Okay. So what we need to understand about water, United Nations Water Convention is all about. So it is actually adopted in Helsinki, that is the capital city of Finland, in 1992. It's actually legally binding convention whereby parties agree to use transboundary waters reasonably and equitably. India is not a party, so it's not that much important either. But you just need to remember India is not a member of this party because we have like Indus Water Treaty, with Pakistan, no? Of course. So that's why. So, but you know what? Like you need to remember कि UN Water Courses Convention was adopted in 1997, and Indus Water Treaty aligns with this. So, if any question comes with respect to Indus Water Treaty, na, okay, so you need to remember like under which convention it has been covered. So, it actually covers under United Nations Water Courses Convention. Not it is not under the United Nations Water Convention. Keep this in the mind. So, it is like covered under or adapted under United Nations Water Courses Convention. So, just remember this fact. This is very very important. Okay, I would like ask you to remember this fact because this is a very very important fact. Okay, so just remember this fact. Okay, very very important from exam perspective. So yeah, moving to the next topic. So basically in India we have like categorized farmers on the basis of the land holding. So there are like majorly four types of farmers. First is marginal, that is then small, medium, large farmers. So the marginal farmers are those who own less than 1 hectare of land. Okay, and while small farmers are known who like owns land 1 to 2 hectare, while medium owns land from 4 to 10 hectare, while large farmers own land from above the 10 hectare, okay, 10 hectare above. So just remember this this classification of farmers MSME. So you must have heard na ki marginal and small farmers, medium. We have so much numbers of these farmers. So we have I think around 90% farmers come under these three categories only: marginal, small, and medium. So can you imagine? So that is something. Moving to the next, yeah. So you need to remember that there is initiative by Food and Agriculture Organization. That is the initiative name is Global Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture. Okay. So this initiative by the this Food and Agriculture Organization, Global Alliance for Climate Smart Agriculture. Moving to the next topic, that is string initiative. So what you need to understand, it is initiative by UN baked. Okay, so what is actually trying to do? So actually it is launched by Principles for Responsible Investment. Spring is a new initiative to halt reverse nature loss by 2023. So basically what does it mean? So what it says ki whatever the loss we have caused to the nature, we want to reverse it. Okay, we want to bring the nature into original state. So this is initiative with respect to this and has been launched by Principles of Responsible Investment under it actually is supported by the United Nations. Or what you also it also focuses on political engagement, okay, and vital aspect of corporate governance. So this is something you need to understand. It also aspire to like engage with political leaderships as well. Then if you talk about next topic, that is there is something fund called Fund for Loss and Damage. So this was actually established in 27th session of UNFCCC in COP that was held in Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt. Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt in 2022. So the purpose of the fund is basically it aspires to help developing countries to compensate for losses and damages. Okay, so that is something. So it is basically with respect to climate change. Okay, so this fund is basically climate change and aspire for basically aspire to help developing countries. Then we talk about next topic. So there has been a study which talks about air pollution harms pollinators more. So this is very very important. So if you must be knowing, there are two kinds of pollinators. There are abiotic and biotic pollinators. So if you talk about abiotic pollinators, that is wind and water. If you talk about biotic pollinator, that is insects, which covers bees, wasps, beetles, birds, bats, among others. Okay. There has been a question like bees as well. The question wiggle dance. The UPSC in 24 they have asked about wiggle dance. Okay. So with respect to bees, so the UPSC is taking interest in such kind of things. So you must be aware about this is a very very important thing. So actually, what is saying? Recently, has said because of air pollution, the number of the pollinators has been increasing, like decreasing. Okay, so that's why the pollution is not taking place because of these kinds of things. And ozone is considered as the most harmful pollutant, which causes the death of pollinators. Okay, so while it is has ability to like to reduce the number of cells polluted by 34%. Nitrogen oxides also have such kind of things impacts on the pollinators. So basically pollination, you must be knowing, it is part of biology. Okay, so in the plants what happens, it is a method of plants reproduction system. Okay, whereby they transfer pollen grains from male flower to the female stigma. Okay, so there are two types of uh, ways types. There is self pollination, whereby the same flower or another flower of the same plant where the pollination takes place, while cross pollination means the pollination takes place between different kind of plants, like different kind in the sense that this is the plant 1, this is plant B of the same species. So the pollination, if we take in between these two plants, so that is known as cross pollination. While if this is the plant, okay, and pollination takes place on this plant, so that is known as self pollination. And already told, pollination is of course the process through which the seed is generated. Okay, so basic purpose is to generate the seed. Okay, moving to the next section. Hi, okay. So there was a news actually recently that China has actually developed world's first dual tower solar thermal power plant. Okay, actually it is kind of thing what we need to understand. Basically, it is the what actually does. Let me explain you. I haven't stick, unfortunately I forgot to stick the picture of this thing, this initiative. So basically what is actually happen, suppose this is the farm. Okay, okay, and here is the tower, here is tower, here also is tower. Okay, there are two towers. Okay, here they have like something called what I can say. So here actually they observe, like they install mirrors here. Okay, they install mirrors here everywhere, like in this point, like in this form, like they will install like in the number thousands of mirrors. Okay, and what the mirror will do, they will like like whenever the sunlight reaches na, so they will reflect this sunlight to this part of the tower. Okay, and what happens, it will generate so much heat na, the heat will be around 2000 degrees Celsius. Okay, and through which the cell the is used as, like here cell is used, and it's a very complex process, but it's like kind of thermal power plant. But in the thermal power plant, coal is used as like to basically to generate the steam from water. Okay, and to like to for the turbine. Okay, to generate electricity. Here the solar power is used to generate electricity. Okay, so that is something to for the turbine. So basically, what actually China has did actually. One second, let me remove everything from here. So what China has done actually, it has developed world's first dual solar thermal power plant. Actually, earlier there was only one tower around which there were used to be mirrors, but China has installed dual tower system, which actually boost energy efficiency by 24%. So that is a very big achievement for China. So it actually, how does it take place? It's around 200-meter tall towers are installed, surrounded by thousands of mirrors. As I already told you, automatically take the sun's moment, which achieve 94% reflection efficiency. So these mirrors are very effective. Okay, very efficient mirrors are installed. Okay, then and the molten salt is used as thermal battery. So it's a very complex process, but you need to understand the molten salt is used as thermal battery. Okay, so just moving to the next topic, that is CITES released report on rosewood. So rosewood is basically one second. Okay, so there is a term called non-detriment findings. Okay, you just need to bound non-detriment finding. It's kind of mandatory scientific analysis and the sites to ensure that exporting of specified quantity will not affect their long-term survival in the wild. Means, suppose if there is the tree called mango. Okay, so what is net NDC says, if you export this plant, so it's the overall its existence will go into harm. Okay, so that is something it actually analysis is being done. Okay, then if you talk about rosewood, so it's a tropical hardwood tree. Okay, and there are like 3 kinds of rosewoods. Okay, basically whereby under appendix second of CITES they are included. First is Dalbergia latifolia, that is Malabar rosewood, while Dalbergia sisu, that is sisam, that is found in India. These two are found in India. They are like this. This Malabar rosewood is vulnerable, while this sisam is least condition under on IUCN red list. Okay, so while if we talk about African rosewood, so it is endangered on IUCN red list. So you just need to remember their conservation status, especially the Malabar rosewood is basically vulnerable, sesame is least condition, while African rosewood is endangered. Then we talk about what is the role that is being played by this tree, by the rosewood basically. Actually help in soil improvement, also help in nitrogen fixation. That is the two main role is being played by this particular tree. Now what we can do, we need to actually focus on covering this static section of this sites. So basically the sites, the full form of the site is Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. So that is sites. Its headquarters located in Genoa, that is located in the Switzerland. It is basically international legally binding treaty, convention basically, not treaty. And it came into force in 1975 by resolution by UN. There are currently 184 countries are member, while of course India is a member, no doubt. So then there are different types of protection is given on the basis of their exploitation or the vulnerability. So appendix 1 is basically species covered under species which are actually threatened with extinction. Like great Indian bustard is as you know, great Indian bustard we have seen, it's come under appendix 2. So I think, let me cross check it 1 second if I don't make it. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, I said na, it is covered under appendix 1 of the sites. Okay, I was right. So basically so what happens, like appendix 1 is for the species who are very threatened for the extinction. Commercial trade is completely prohibited for such kind of species. And appendix 2, they are not currently threatened with respect to the extinction, but there is regulation. Okay, extra regulation is there, like the export permit is there. That is like the least concern kind of, like appropriate certificate can be used for export of such kind of species. Going to the next topic, that is with respect to agarwood. Okay, so site issues export agarwood from India move to benefit lakhs of farmers. So this agarwood is evergreen tree native to Northeast India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and parts of Southeast Asia. Is considered a precious aromatic plant. Or what is the use of this plant? Basically, it's using plants, oil, and chips. Okay, so this is something you just remember. And agarwood is basically is a critically endangered species covered under appendix 2. And then schedule 5 it is covered under schedule 4th of Wildlife Protection Act. Then okay, if we talk about megafauna, so recently what happened, archaeology says it's the world's oldest known 41,000-year-old oasis nest in Andhra Pradesh. So why is this is important? Firstly, there has been we can know what the first we need to know like now what is megafauna. Okay, so megafauna is basically the animals which are their weight who has like weight above 50 kg. So those animals are covered under this megafauna, under which like species like mammoth, saber-toothed tigers, giant sloth are covered. Okay, so what actually said ki which of the species has been existing now, especially the megafauna, who's like the animals who have weight over 50 kg. So like through this nest they can get idea how they get extinct. Okay, so just need to remember what is megafauna. So the animals who has the weight over 50 kg. Then if you talk about Jordan's cursor, so Jordan cursor is a basically nocturnal bird. Okay, only found in Eastern Ghats. So very important from exam perspective. Jordan's cursor is a nocturnal bird. Hota hai. It's like found only in Western Ghats. Eastern Ghats, and exclusively endemic to Andhra Pradesh. Okay, especially this Sri Lankamaleshwara Wildlife Sanctuary in Kattappa, Andhra Pradesh. So remember these two facts. Firstly, it is nocturnal bird only found in Eastern Ghats. Secondly, it's exclusively endemic to Andhra Pradesh, especially it is found in Sri Lankamaleshwara Wildlife Sanctuary that is located in Kattappa, Andhra Pradesh region. It is basically critically endangered species is the great Indian bustard is. So very important from exam perspective, the great Indian bustard, lesser florican, and this third Jordan's crusher. Okay, and it is covered under Schedule 1st to Wildlife Protection Act, of course, and it is also protected under Integrated Development Wildlife Habitats Scheme. So just remember this information, very important. Then we talk about Wolbachia bacteria. Actually, in the UPSC exam, this has been asked earlier as well about this bacteria. Okay, question has been asked. So basically, Wolbachia bacteria is a very important bacteria. So basically, it's found generally in insects, and they are generally present in eggs, while it's absent in sperm. So what does it help? Actually, it increases the number of females and reduces the number of males. Okay, so that's why it is very helpful for the to contain the population of insects like the mosquitoes who are actually responsible for dengue, malaria, these kinds of diseases. So Wolbachia bacteria actually does reduce the population of male, okay, while increase the number of females like remain the same, while the population of males is decreased with the help of this bacteria. So mosquitoes, as I told, can be used to reduce number of targets. So that is something. Yeah, that is something I said. Then there is Centricheria cannabis. What is actually? It is actually a desert moss. Okay, kind of shrub. Okay, basically. So actually, why it's in the news? Because it is said that it could be the first possible pioneer species for colonization of Mars, right? As we all like Elon Musk is thinking he's going to set up colony in the Mars, everything like that. So why is it in the news? Like what's the importance of this particular desert moss, that is Centaurea cannabis? Basically, it can be used for pioneer species, like whether this species can survive in Mars, like situation conditions in the Mars. Then so it will be helpful for like such kind of the studies. And it is the widespread in some of the harshest location, including Antarctica and Mozo Desert. So it can tolerate such kind of harsh environment. So of course it might also survive in Mars as well. Then there is Araku coffee in the news because our Prime Minister has mentioned in his Man Ki Baat program the name of this coffee. So Araku Arabica coffee, actually found in hilly tracts of Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. So these two states, you need to remember the name. And actually it has got GI tag in 2019. It actually got its name from Araku Valley, situated in Eastern Ghats in Andhra Pradesh. And basically the specifications of this coffee is basically it is found with the hot days and cold nights along with non-iron rich soils always. So actually aromatic means the smell is so good and the taste of this coffee is so good. Okay. Then next, in the last section of this last topic of environment section. So Unming La Pass was in the news. So actually it is located at the 19,000 feet above 19,000 above the sea level in eastern Ladakh along Ladakh range. Okay, and actually it helps to improve the connectivity to the line of actual control. Moving to the next section, that is social issues. Okay, so here what we need to understand, first topic being India's sports ecosystem. Okay, as we have seen, the India's Olympic ranking has been deteriorated by, like, it was in 2022 it was 48, now it's 71st. So the performance of India has gone declined. Okay, and also India, you must be as you must be knowing, reading editorials such as, so where India is aspiring to host Olympics of 2036. Okay, so that is something you can just remember. Or the what you need to remember thing is that sports is a state subject. Okay, so that is something. And if you talk about what initiatives are being taken to promote the sports ecosystem in India, so basically we have doubled our budgetary allocation to the sports sector in 10 years. Then if you talk about Khelo India program, that is basically to promote sports athletes at the grassroots level. Basically, that is something. And also in national education policy, the government of India has tried to incorporate sport activity along with educational, education. So that is something. It's like, if you talk about the static section of Olympic Games, it started in 1896 in Athens, that is Greece, where 14 nations competed in 9 sports, and it is held every 4 years, as you must be knowing. And so basically, yeah, in Paris 2024 Olympic Games were a little bit special because 4 new additional sports were added, being breaking, sport climbing, skateboarding, and surfacing. So that is something. And further, for if you have there is some, if you're not happy with the decision by the referee or something, so you can just file appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sports. Okay, so it was created in 1983 to deal with legal problems with an athlete could face during playing time. Okay, and also recognized by the Paris Convention. And if you talk about India and Olympics, so India first time participated in 1900 in Paris only, and that was represented by Anglo-Indian Norman Pritchard. Okay. Further, Indian Olympic Commission (IOA) was formed in 1927 with Sir Drobji Tata as president. And okay, and the role of this agency is is basically coordinates with National Sport Federation to send their teams to Olympics. So that is the basic job it is actually doing. I think PT Usha is currently the chair of this organization. Okay, IOA. Going to the next section, that is short news. Here, what we can understand, immunization. Okay, immunization is basically the kind of preventive care. Okay, there are two kinds of cares, like cures, like there is preventing and curative care. So before disease is actually happened, you have to have like gone earlier, na? So that is not preventive care. Immunization comes under preventive care. So in India, we have universal immunization program like in operation since 1985 during Rajiv Gandhi government. It was started, and mission Indradhanush aspires to vaccinate all the unvaccinated and partially vaccinated children, pregnant women under universal immunization program. So you just need to remember all about like what is the role, the aspiration of this mission Indradhanush. Moving further, yeah. So there was a report basically with respect to state of food security and nutrition. So what you just need to remember, like this data is not important from exam perspective. Just use like you can use this data in your essays or in just answers or society as well. Like 1 in 11 people faced hunger globally in 2023. So it's like global hunger if there is some poverty question on the poverty or like multiple sections. So you can use this data. Okay. So moving further, if we talk about Operation Nanne Farishte, so just must be idea what is all about. So Nanne Farishte is kind of a rescue mission whereby children are rescued who are in need of care and who need protection. Okay, so like this is the mission is run by various Indian railway zones. Okay, so that is something it's all about, like rescuing the children who are in the need, and is run by the Indian railway zones. Moving to the next section, that is science and tech. First topic being genetically modified crops, that is GM crops. Recently, Supreme Court actually gave a split verdict with respect to approval of genetically modified GM crops, GM mustard crops. Okay, with respect to environmental release. So basically, currently GM mustard is not like commercially cultivable. So that is something split verdict are there. If you talk about genetic modification, so what it is, and actually it is altering like one species organism DNA, organisms DNA. Okay, or whereby what happens with the DNA, like it is like by you can just add, remove, cut, this kind of things are used with respect to DNA, and you can extend the foreign gene as well, that is called transgene. And yeah, if you talk about mustard crop, okay, so basically the purpose of this all this you must be like like why we do such kind of modifications. There are multi-purpose ways, like suppose if you want to increase the crop yield, so that might be one purpose. Second, that might be like wide attack from testis, like the insects, okay, insects or like that. So this kinds of like to have to secure the crop, to have more productivity of the crop, these kinds of methods are being used. If we talk about GM crop, GM mustard crop, that is known as DMH11. Okay, and it actually has been developed by the Delhi University, and as I will tell you, it's not has been released for commercial cultivation yet, because the Supreme Court has not released like the Supreme Court has given a split verdict. Basically, DMH11, that is GM mustard crop, is basically a result of crossing between two mustard varieties. What are those two mustard varieties? Varun and East European early Hira 2. So that is the, like, suppose this was the Varun mustard and this was the East European early Hira. So there was a cross, crossing of these two, and the result was GM mustard crop. Okay, so just, and basically this GM the mustard is actually self-pollinating species or the plant, as we have seen. Like above, like there are two kinds of ways to pollination to generate the seed. So it's kind of like mustard is self-pollinating, and you must be you must need to remember this that method, like the Barney's Buster system. It is actually related with the pollination and like GM crops. Okay, so it's about crop cropping. Okay, so just need to remember this thing. So it's about GM crops. One as we why we adopt these kinds of methods, like why we made modifications in genes to increase crop yield. Okay, then reduce cost the food, reduce uses for environmentally damaging pesticides, as I already talked about. Enhance nutrition value, because we are, as a country, we are facing like malnutrition. Okay, tolerance to drought, like there are many crops who are, if genetically modified, they can resist disease, or like even crop like drought, floods, these kinds of extreme events. If we talk about our like this kind of structure with respect to GM crops in India, then BT cotton is the only approved GM crop in 2002 for commercial cultivation. Okay, it is the first non-food and only approved GM crop in India. This name like it's a very important fact. And we talk about this production now, like the status in country now. So in 2018-19, around 95% of total cotton planted in India was this BT cotton only. Okay, and many environmental like who are the like concerns about biodiversity, they have this kind of notion ki if we follow this kind of model with respect to all crops, then all the traditional crops will go extinct. So that is their concern. And we talked about VT brinjal. VT brinjal was created by genetic engineering appraisal committee for commercial cultivation, but it was put on 10-year hold. Okay, so it's not yes, and like you have to wait for 10 years. Like so, basically, currently, basically, VT what is the only GM crop which is approved environmentally for commercial cultivation. If we talk about genetic engineering appraisal committee, this is the prime institution with the approval of with respect to approval of GM crops in India. It's a state committee under Environment Protection Act 1996. You must like during exam, if question is asked with respect to this committee, you must get confused. Okay, it might be Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So it's not like with respect to that. It's about it comes under Environment Protection Act 1986. Okay, just keep this thing in mind. It comes under obviously comes under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So it doesn't come under Agriculture Ministry. Yeah, just these two tracks are very important. The role obviously approval of these kinds of genetically modified plants, that is the major role it's playing. If we talk about regulatory framework with respect to GM crops, then we have the act called Food Safety and Standards Act 2006, which actually prohibits import, manufacture, use of sale of GM crop without FSSAI's, okay, Food Security and Standard Authority of India's approval. So before you want to import, export such kind of GM crops, you need FSSAI's approval. Okay. Concerns, of course, there are many concerns. Human health is there. Some kind of unwanted genes might get manipulated while like modification. So that might put for example, this GM herbicide tolerant crops really heavily on this glyphosate. Okay, and this glyphosate is probably cartoonized by the world WHO. Okay, in 2005 or 15. If you talk about biodiversity, I already talked about contamination. So there might be some gene flow from GM crops who might dangers for the wild and BD crop. Okay, so that is something concerns you can just use in your answers. Moving to the next topic, that is National Green Hydrogen Mission. So this mission has been launched for a long time ago, but the scheme guidelines has been has come from the ministry. Okay, so this is the ministry basically Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has released this kind of guidelines. So first we need to understand what is green hydrogen. So basically, green hydrogen is something the hydrogen, the process through which the hydrogen is generated, that actually differs. If you generate hydrogen by the process of thermal power plants, so that is not green hydrogen. Okay, so green hydrogen is when you use renewable energy to generate to form the hydrogen, that is known as green hydrogen. Like the process kind of the electrolysis process used to generate hydrogen. Okay, basically, and basically it is generally formed from H2 molecule, that is water. So if we talk about the use, the application and the uses of greenhouse green hydrogen, so it's used in obviously like electrical vehicles, aviation and maritime industry, such kind of things. So almost all the I think in 2024 the question was with respect to the applications of green hydrogen, in how many sectors we can use this green hydrogen. So you have to just take all of the above. Okay, in most cases in such kind of application based questions. If we talk about types of hydrogen, there are multiple types of hydrogen, but basically we need to understand two types. As I told, hydrogen can be generated even from the fossil fuel based process, or through from thermal power plants, where the coal is used as the raw material, right? So that kind of hydrogen known as black or brown hydrogen. While if you use renewable energy to generate hydrogen, that is known as green hydrogen. Okay, and there are multiple hydrogen natural gas you can generate from fossil fuel, methane, nuclear energy. So coal, if you use coal or to generate hydrogen, so that is known as black or brown hydrogen. Okay, just remember, if you talk about National Green Hydrogen Mission, it was launched in 2023 because our we have committed to net zero emissions by 2070. So of course the government of India is taking widespread steps with respect to renewable energy, whereby solar energy, wind energy and hydrogen are main sources. And even now we have working on small nuclear reactors as well, as we have studied. We are going to study in this section, in the upcoming section. The objective of course will be global health protection, uses and export of green hydrogen. Not a big deal, you must be knowing about it. That's a well understanding thing. The GAIL Limited is the company which has actually started the project whereby it is going to blending of hydrogen in city gas distribution grid in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. So you can just use in answers such kind of data. So GAIL Limited is the company which has started like blending hydrogen in like the CNG, okay, the cooking gas, okay. So in Indore, Madhya Pradesh, like we have many challenges with respect to green hydrogen, but currently the big challenge is this current cost of producing green hydrogen, okay. Why electrolysis actually like differs from 4 to $7 per kg. So it's like a lot of money you have to invest here. But the our like that is the only reason we are not able to generate much hydrogen, because it's a lot of funds, a lot of money is required. So but our vision is to reduce this cost to $1 per kg by 2023. So that is something we are looking for. Moving to the next topic, that is facial recognition technology. Here just need to remember face recognition can be used for two purposes basically. First is 1.1 is used for unlock phones. You must see like when we use like phones. So like looking at our phone, like phone gets unlocked. That technology is known as 1.1. If we took one like N, that is used for mass monitoring and surveillance. So basically this kind of thing is there. So what happens in this like 1N, whereby firstly the target is like captured and scanned by the technology that is known as facial detection. After that, scanning the face of that target, then data is extracted, and then the data is compared with database, and ultimately the matching and identified is process identification process gets complete. Going to the next section, next part, that is you just can remember like in this digital personal data protection act, which we brought in 2023. So actually, the aim of this act basically to regulate the processing of digital personal data. Okay, so it's a kind of balance. Okay, you just need to understand there is right to privacy. Okay, firstly, and to need to like government obviously need like use to data for lawful purpose. Okay, to identify criminals and this kind of things. So there's kind of balance the right to privacy, like between the right to privacy and lawful usage of data. So that is kind of balance we need to make. Obviously, government has to make. And if you talk about ballistic missile defense system, that is next topics. Okay, so we have many missile defense systems like in the world. Like in USA there are two systems. First is THAAD and second is Patriot. Okay, and Iron Dome is very famous, of course, that is of Israel. If we talk about the comparison of the cruise missiles and ballistic missiles, so first look at the like how they like move. So cruise missile is like moving in this way, okay, and ballistic missiles like more than like this distance, obviously till this height, the maximum height it will need the fuel. After that it doesn't need fuel as such. Okay, so highest speed is required to this point. Afterwards it's like like in the effect of gravity, it automatically falls on the we're going to hit the target. So that is something you just need to remember. And cruise missile is going to need continuous fuel. So that's going to study. So basically as I told, it's need cruise missile is powered by jet engines to continuous flight, as I already told. While ballistic missile doesn't require continuous fuel, but they require initial boost, okay, phase. And then cruise missile is basically for shorter ranges, of course, and the ballistic missile is for longer range. So you can just target like very target who's like very distant from the missile. The cruise missile uses combination GPS, global positioning system, initial guidance, and terrain counter matching for navigation purpose. Why? Because you need to understand, like if like this is missile has to cross from India to if you want to hit the target in China, so of course it has to go from Himalayas. Okay, while it's so it has to need like you need to understand the terrain. Okay, while ballistic missile is going to like have this kind of path, so it's not going to like get affected by the Himalayas or any other mountains or the hurdle that is coming in its path. And then yeah, obviously as you tell, it's longer range. It's only required only initial guidance. Okay. this cruise missile carries smaller and single warhead general, while it can actually conventional nuclear can carry both kinds of nuclear like heads or warheads, while the ballistic missile can carry like combination of many payloads or warheads. The BrahMos is the example of cruise missile that is we are like co-producing with Russia. These missiles and Prithvi Agni series of missiles are examples of the ballistic missiles that are indigenous missiles. Going to the next part, that is no short news. 1 second. Okay. Also, just need to remember this small fact: the slow blind malware is there, which is actually getting actually targeting Android users. Okay, Android phones it's using. So slow blind malware is basically targeting Android users. Just remember that Pegasus is also such kind of thing. You must be knowing about Pegasus. It was in the news in 2022 or something. So it's like similar kind of things there. So slow blind malware. Just it might be asked, it has been seen in the news. the term. So just remember this. So point 1 is all about targeting earned funds. Then if you talk about naturally existing DNA editing tools, till now we had like these kinds of artificial gene editing technology like CRISPR-9, as we have studied in July month or June month magazine, okay. And tail nucleases is also artificial gene editing technology. Gene finger nuclease is also artificial gene editing technology. Then RNA interference is also like that only. But recently what happened, a landmark thing has happened with respect to gene editing, gene editing things over gene editing, whatever, like the same things there, like there is minor difference obviously there. But what we need to understand, like, so basically the scientists have discovered natural existing gene editing tool, that is bridge recombinase mechanism, BRM. Okay, so just remember this name. It's like naturally existing DNA editing tool which actually utilize mobile genetic elements or jumping genes. Okay, so just remember this name. This is very very important. Going to the next section, like next topic, that is mitochondrial disease. So actually this is kind of new IVF, in vitro fertilization technique, that is mitochondrial donation. Okay, so what actually is mitochondria? Obviously you must be knowing. It is like, if you talk about the static section of the biology, then it is a powerhouse of the cells, producing 90% of energy required for for body. If you talk about mito, that is like the short form of mitochondrial disease. And actually it's kind of genetically inherited metabolic condition caused by genetic mutation DNA. So if there is mutation in the DNA, that's why it gets caused from one generation to another. It actually impairs the ability of mitochondria to convert food and oxygen to energy. And as you must be knowing, we have read, like, if anything hinders mitochondria to produce energy now, so how we will get energy? Because 90% of energy is produced by mitochondria only now. So this kind of energy, like, is kind of genetic mutation. Okay, like there are two types of DNA. Of course, nuclear DNA, that is inherited from both the parents, while like DNA of mitochondria, which actually only passed by the mother only. So if it is children, okay, suppose it is children, like Z, and it's a product of mother X and father Y. So what happens in this process? This Z children, this Z child will have both like DNA, so nuclear DNA and DNA, mitochondria DNA. While nuclear DNA will be inherited from both the parents, while the mitochondrial DNA is going to be inherited from mother only. So that is something you need to remember. Moving to the next topic, that is monoclonal antibodies. Actually are lab-made proteins mimicking natural antibodies. Just remember this thing. Monoclonal antibodies are those who are actually not like natural, antibodies. Rather, it's like artificial, antibodies. If you talk about electroencephalography is it's kind of medical test which measure brain electric connectivity, activity of connectivity generated by the neurons. As you must be knowing, our like the like neurons are the measure the ways through which our body get instructed, like through the neuron, and there is electric signals are sent, electromagnetic signals are sent. Okay, so like medical test is such kind of there where you can just measure like whether electrical activities, it's healthy or not. So just remember this kind of medical test, okay, which measures brain's electric activity. If you talk about Aditya L1, okay, you must be knowing. So basically recently what happened, it actually completed its first hello orbit around the Lagrange point 1. So the Lagrange point is something where the gravitational pull of two large bodies, suppose in the case we have Earth and Sun, equals the necessary centripetal force required to small object to move than there. So suppose I will tell an example. So yeah, here's the picture is already there, right? So like we have this Sun, okay, and we have this Earth. So in this like the Lagrange point is here only, okay, like it could be anywhere, like here, like anywhere, right? L1, L5, L4, L2, L3. So what happens here, this in this like process, suppose this is the Earth and this is the Sun, okay, this is the Sun, this is the Earth. So suppose it is the Lagrange like point, okay. So in this point, the gravitational pull of these two celestial bodies will be equal, plus centripetal full like force would be such that like it can travel along this point, okay. So that is something you just need to remember. And there are 5 Lagrange points, L1, L2, L3, L5, while L4 and L5 are stables, but we have sent our Aditya L1, okay, the satellite to L1 point. Moving to the next part, that is hello orbits. What do you mean by hello orbit? Basically this kind of periodic and three-dimensional orbits, like, okay, obviously, and it actually generated by interaction between the gravitational pull of two planetary bodies, in the case Earth and Sun. and centripetal force that is responsible for the basically the moving around. Okay, so yeah, if we talk about Aditya mission, it was launched in 2023. It was a like great success by ISRO. It was first Indian space mission with respect to the sun, and actually the purpose was to study the sun's corona, solar emissions and solar winds and coronal mass ejections and such kind of things. Of course, they study the sun. So these are the parts of the sun: this corona and like coronal mass ejections, something. And actually, it's carrying 7 payloads currently visible in mission lines and such kind of things. You can just skip. Don't need to remember the like payloads or something. If you talk about planetary defense, so recently what happened? Like the our ISRO chairperson said like ISRO is looking to study asteroid Apophis when it is like 32,000 kilometers away from Earth in 2029. So as you must be knowing, Earth asteroids are really big threat for India, like the country, not just India, like for the globe, right? So the existence of the Earth planet. So if in 2029, if this Apophis asteroid would be closer to Earth by 32,000 only. So in the space time, this distance is not much. Okay, you just need to remember. You might found this distance is much longer, but at the Earth, like here. But if you talk about space, this distance is very minute. Okay, so it's like very might be big threat for like if it's changes its path. Like suppose this is Earth and it's moving like this. Okay, or like this distance is 32,000 kilometers. This distance. Okay, but unfortunately, if it's change its path like this only little. Okay, so it might hurt Earth, and we can get exist like as the dinosaur like but so there is this asteroid Apophis is like near Earth object. Okay, one of the most hazardous asteroids that could impact India like Earth. And if we talk about near Earth objects, so whenever a comet or asteroid like orbits brings like have very potential to like or remain close to the Earth, that is it's known as near Earth object. If we talk about next topic, that is Mars Odyssey orbiter. So this is the basically this is NASA's plan. Okay, America's like US Space Agency. So this is something with respect to NASA, and like this mission was launched in 2001. It is the longest continually active orbital mission, and objective was to determine the abundance of hydrogen in shallow subsurface. Are you getting the point? With respect to the Mars and the Moon. Okay, so it's like the mission is about determining the abundance, like whether there is abundance of hydrogen or not. That is something Martian with respect to Mars. Okay, so move on the next topic. Yeah, I earlier also I talked about small modular reactors. It was actually announced in the budget that center will partner like private sector. Like for the first time, it is happening. Like we are allowing private sector to like nuclear energy. There has been some amendments has been made. Okay, to for the energy generation. So these are the viable source of energy. So basically, this is something we have made shift like India's nuclear policy is Atomic Energy Act 1962 earlier did not permit private sector participation in nuclear energy generation, but now we are moving from that like thing and having a shift. And so basically, these small modular reactors are factory based, easily assembled, the kind of small reactors. So there are three kinds of reactors, nuclear reactors. First is large conventional reactors. This is like we have Kunyakulam with the like help of Russia, and we have Lavut Bata, Chittorgarh. Like these kinds of reactors we have, which are very large. Then there is like small modular reactors. This large conventional reactors like has the capacity to generate 700 plus megawatt of electricity, while small modular reactors have the capacity to generate 100 megawatt of electricity, while micro reactors can generate electricity by up to 10 megawatt. Okay, so we are focusing on this small modular reactor now. Okay, so here in this reactor is basically the pressurized heavy water technology is used. Okay, so D2, this is known as D2, heavy water is known as D2, and current share of nuclear energy of course is 1.6 only, while natural gas is responsible for 6%. So the share is very less. Small modular obviously we have talked, it's like can generate electricity up to 300 megawatt per unit basically. And if you moving to the next section, that is tokamak fusion reactor. Tokamak fusion reactor. First of all, you need to understand, you must be knowing the difference fusion and fission. Okay. So what happens in the fusion process? The sun is based on the fusion process. Okay, whereby two small like materials, suppose like two small atoms come together to form a large atom, right? In the case hydrogen like hydrogen like meeting and producing helium. Okay, and with respect to the sun, and it's generate an enormous amount of energy. Okay, so that's how we get like sunlight and everything. In the fission, what happens? Fission is different. Like fusion is with respect to assembling, like collecting, like making one, while the fission is like splitting of atoms. Like if we talk uranium, okay, uranium 235 or 232, so it gets split in uranium 232. Okay, so it gets split and it's generate enormous amount of energy. So that is known as fission, nuclear fission, and this is novel. Fusion is like split, like assembling or like making like two atoms, make up a one atom, one big atom. So why it is important? You need to understand firstly. So what is happening? Our current, all the nuclear power plants, all like almost 99% of all the power plants currently globally are based on the process called nuclear fission, right? Like if you talk, just above we have talked about our small module reactor, right? It's also based on the process of nuclear fission, whereby every like atom, isotopes get divided in small another isotope, and it generates enormous number of energy. Okay, while nuclear fission is something which is very new, and if we has this capacity to generate energy to through nuclear fusion, then the our earth planet, the globe, the world can get all of energy from this process. So what is happened recently? China has made a landmark achievement with respect to nuclear fusion process. Basically, first let me explain further. Like once again, you basics need to be cleared first, like otherwise you how you will understand it. So once again, so there is something called device called tokamak. Okay, suppose this is the tokamak. Okay, basically it is a kind of electrical field. Okay, so what happened in the nuclear fusion? There is enormous energy released. Okay, so if you want to confine this energy, suppose this process is taking place at this point. Okay, at this like in this place, and if you want to not to harm like other places, because nuclear energy is so harmful. You must have seen with respect to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it can cause damage to the like everything, like with respect to whichever comes in its touch. So tokamak is a device which confines this energy to this particular zone. Okay, so that is the tokamak. Okay, you got it. Now moving to the we have cleared almost all the basic yeah, we have cleared, right? Yeah, now we talk about once again. Let me remove this first. Yeah. So, as I said, like China has made a landmark achievement with respect to this nuclear fusion energy, because it has created world's first high temperature superconducting tokamak device, HH70, and European Union, Japan has already inaugurated such kind of devices, but they are not that kind of high temperature devices. Tokamak, as I told, a machine for controlled thermonuclear fusion process. As I told, not a big deal. Nuclear fission, as I already told, it two light atomic nuclei combined to form single heavier one. Okay. Nuclear fusion, it's like split into smaller, while nuclear like okay, nuclear fission, as I told, like it's like fission is all about splitting. Okay, the almost 99% of nuclear reactors are based on this nuclear fission process. Uh, you must be like knowing. You need to understand. Like you must remember, like in the in fusion process, in most generally the reactors use deuterium and tritium. Okay, these are the hydrogen atoms, isotopes. Okay, so as I told, like in the sun, if like two hydrogen atoms combine together and generate helium, so these isotopes are like such, like this isotopes are deuterium and tritium. Okay, so the isotopes are different, like where isotopes are like where you have like equal number but neutrons, the number of protons and like especially the neutrons is different. Okay, that is known as isotopes. And if we talk about ITR, okay, so it is basically kind of global scientific partnership, okay, between China, Europe, Japan, India, and Republic of Korea, that is South Korea, basically Russia and USA. Currently it's like working in the France. I have visited this website of ITR. Okay, so we will see 30 images of this like like we are working on like combinedly we are working to generate this much electricity. How much electricity we are aspiring for? Let me clear one second. Yeah, actually, we are aspiring to power gain by tenfold return. It means like simple way is this key. Whatever energy we are going to give this tokamak device, it is a Russian word by the way. So whatever energy we are giving to this device, in return we must get 10-fold. Suppose if I am giving 10 watt of electricity to this tokamak device or all the like this process, I must get 100 watt. So that is the the vision we are thinking about. So it is actually working like it is based in the France only, and objective obviously viability of fusion as an energy source, and tokamak device magnetic confinement and everything. Yeah, India actually formally joined this ITR project in 2005, and we have provided crystalset, the pipelines. Basically they are actually pipelines. Okay, so in this ITR or the tokamak or the nuclear fusion process, a lot of, because enormous amount is going to be released. Okay, enormous amount of heat is going to release. So if it is not combined, it's not get cooled, so it might melt this everything. It comes into it's like the temperature is going to be around 6,000 degrees Celsius. Can you imagine 6,000 degrees Celsius? Actually, that is the temperature of our, like, I think this is the temperature of the earth, like the sun only, the surface of the sun. While this tokamak device is going to generate like temperature around 2,000 degrees Celsius. Okay, so can you imagine? It's like enormous heat rise is there. So that is something. Moving to the next section, that is Li-Fi technology. Okay, Li-Fi is like light fidelity technology. You must have heard about Wi-Fi. Many of you might also have heard about Li-Fi technology, but it is kind of Li-Fi technology is a little bit different. Firstly, it uses visible light. Simple. What you need to understand, the Wi-Fi, but what does Wi-Fi actually uses data, okay, to reach out to the internet service. Okay, so the same is done by the Li-Fi, but the process is different, the way is different. Wi-Fi also, you must be knowing, Wi-Fi is also like giving internet or data to us, but how it's like use data. So this is, suppose the transmitter is there, like where Wi-Fi module is there, and we are using this Android phone or whatever, we have tablet, laptop. So this like module of Wi-Fi like gives transfers data through radioactive waves. Radioactive waves are used to generate, like, to transfer data to Android. Okay, and in Android or like laptop, everywhere they are like the devices are used as a receiver. Okay, this is the transmitter and this is the receiver or emitter, you can say. So radio waves are used. Okay, so in this process, like even you are like sitting, so suppose you have installed your Wi-Fi module here, and you are like, this is your house, this is the home, and you are sitting outside like home, so you can also access this Wi-Fi. Of course, you must be like knowing about it. So why Wi-Fi technology is different? It is also the like, of course, the purpose is the same, to like transfer the data. Okay, okay, to like get access to internet, but it is completely different. It uses visible light. Okay, while Wi-Fi uses radio waves, light emitting. Actually, this data is transmitted with the help of LED. That is light emitting diode. You must have seen, of course. So suppose, let me make it more clear for you. Might get confused. One second. So yeah, I was saying the Wi-Fi technology is like, suppose this is your room, okay, and this is the roof of the room, and you are sitting here. Okay, you are sitting here, and you want to access the internet. So what will Wi-Fi will do? So it will install like LED bulb here. This is actually like a special kind of LED bulbs. Okay, so here you will get the light, okay, on your screen or on your phone or Android, like whatever the device you are using. With the help of this light, you can get access to the internet. Simple. Okay, so in this process, what is the benefit? Like, it's the speed of this, like, advantage is like it's a very faster, firstly cheaper and sustainable. It might be like 10 times cheaper than Wi-Fi. Security is very secure. Why it is secure? Because sometime in the case of Wi-Fi, suppose if you are, this is your room, and you have installed like router, and it's like Wi-Fi is here, or like installed is here, and anyone who has the password of your, like, even there are some people who can hack your Wi-Fi password and can access your this Wi-Fi network. So they can do some unethical kind of activities from your, like, while connected to your Wi-Fi. So it is like very insecure for you. If you talk about this Wi-Fi technology, this technology is kind of the thing is like where you can just access internet only where you have that the access to the light. Means you can't, suppose you are sitting in the room, you install LED bulb with respect to Wi-Fi technology, so the any person who are like sitting here, he can't access internet. Okay, simple. So this is very secure, but problem is key, it is like obviously much so strange. Suppose like if you want to like sit like on your balcony or like wherever, like on your roof. Okay, but so you can't use like Wi-Fi technology while you can use Wi-Fi. So this is a disadvantage. And as I've already told you, this is the thing. Like, it's very complex, but I have already told you like in simple way. And yeah, simple, like, and this LED bulb is going to be on and off, on and off. This is actually also used binary code. Even Wi-Fi is also used. Binary code means of 0 1 0 1 0 0 is like this kinds of codes used to transmit data. This LED bulb also uses, like the Wi-Fi technology also uses, but the LED bulb is, like going to switch on and off in milliseconds, so you can't notice like whether it's like, it's like flickering or not. So that is something it is talking about. Its application, of course, you can use aircraft, hospital, wherever possible, right? Not a big deal. Moving to the next section, like next topic, that is steel slag. So steel slag is basically solid waste generated in process of steel making. Simple, firstly, and is composed of oxides of calcium, iron, silicon, magnesium. So what actually has been like recently, guidelines has been issued with respect to utilization and processing of steel slag in road construction. You must be knowing alpha weight is used earlier, like is used generally coking coal, and also used for road making purpose for the constructing roads on which we like drive our vehicles. So they still say why it's like so important, because it can be used for road base coarse material like steel, okay, blading material for Portland cement, fertilizer, soil improvement. And benefits, what are those benefits? Because it's basically a waste. Firstly, it's a waste, okay. So it's like the environment, from environment perspective, it's a very benefit, because every year around 19 million tons of steel waste is generated. So there will be reduction in carbon footprint in road construction. So waste into the our vision to waste to the wealth, from waste to the wealth, the vision might be realized with this of, with this process. And further, technically, if you talk about, it's a very durable. Like the lifespan of the roads, which are made from steel six, are more durable. Like the lifespan is more from the concrete. Okay, so that is something. Just remember this thing. Moving to the next section. If you talk about dark oxygen, so just remember dark oxygen that is produced without the process of photosynthesis. It is generated by metallic modules present it is generated by metallic modules present on the seafloor. So what happens actually? You must be seeing, you must idea about photosynthesis process, whereby CO2 plus H2O, like they get combined, they generates starch, that is C2, C5, like the glucose, okay, and obviously this O2, okay. And yeah, so this is O2 generated, this oxygen, normal oxygen, while any oxygen that is generated without the process of photosynthesis, this is obviously the photosynthesis process, sunlight is required, and you need chloroplast, chlorophyll, okay. So this kind of oxygen, normal oxygen, while the oxygen which is different from photosynthesis, that is called direct oxygen, and is generally, as of now, it is generated by metallic modules, okay, which are present on the sea floor. So in the coming time, there might be other technologies which can produce dark oxygen. Why it is dark? Basically, because it even can generate like oxygen even in the like even absence of sunlight, and like in the dark, like palace, it also can generate, okay. So that is something that's why it's known as this kind of dark oxygen. Talking about Danish oven. Danish oven is actually a species of homicide. Okay, it is kind of like evolutionary species like of Homo sapiens. Okay, and it's close relative of modern humans. So Danish one is like, as we like, as Darwin's the theory of evolution says. Okay, so it says now we are like the ancestor of humans is like apes. So basically apes. Firstly apes were there, then we generated to little bit more advanced species, and now like there were many multiple species are there. Now we are Homo sapiens, right? And we are continuously evolving. Okay. So in this process, there is one species called homicide. Like it was like our middle kind of ancestors were there, like who were like evolving in stage. So this the Danish one is like that kind of extinct species of homicide. Okay, so just remember this thing. Last universal common ancestor, Luca. So Luca is basically uh, something. Our researchers have like said ki, there are three branches of life. Firstly, bacteria, archaea, and eukarya have originated from single microbe, Luca. Means whatever the three branches are there, this Luca is the responsible for that origin. Are you getting the point? Like whether it's bacteria, archaea, or eukarya. So Luca is the responsible one. Moving to the next, International Olympiad. So it is like World Championship Mathematics competition for high school students. Keep this in, it's for high school students, held annually in different countries. So World Champion Mathematics competition it is, and first was held in 1959 Romania. It's a European country. Okay. Moving to the next section, that is culture. Recently, you must have heard in the news, Assam's Charai Dev Modam was officially inscribed to the UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2023. The Santi Niketan was also added into the list, and it was asked even in the UPSC exam as well. One second. So we was need to know about like with the current status of World Heritage Sites, total World Heritage Sites in India. So there are 43 total World Heritage Sites in India, and 30 being in Assam, Kaziranga National Park, Manas National Park, and up now this uh, Charaideo Modams. Okay, so Charaideo Modams is generally located in Patkai range, that is in Eastern Assam, that is like on border of Arunachal Pradesh. So this is kind of the structure is this. Okay, so what actually is kind of burial ground. Okay, first let me make you understand. It's burial ground. Okay, burial ground means after the death, the deceased body is buried here under this structure. Okay, and this kind of dome structure is made. And so if you talk about like who started these kind of things, so this the Chaidev is home to royal necropolis of the Thai Ahom. This Thai Ahom dynasty is the responsible for such kind of structures. So this is started, and in its dynasty was in 13th to 19th century, common era of course, AD, and they can be compared with Egyptian pyramids. Obviously, you must be knowing now. Egyptian pyramids are also the burial grounds. Okay, you must be knowing, right? So they are like very, of course, very large or something, but they are also like that only. You can just compare. Moda means home of the spirit, home of the spirit, and obviously symbolizes earth continuum. After you get died, this is the earth, and people aspire for like to get heaven. Obviously, there are many arguments whether heaven exists or not. There are some really different. It's a philosophical question, but Midom is like the thing which actually makes continuation. Like so, if you get like Midom is made like that, you just like continues with the heaven, from earth to heaven. And if you talk about architectural style, so banyan trees are used for for such kind of things. Water bodies are generally created are near Midoms. And okay, actually the people even like in that time during Ahom dynasty, okay, the people used to believe in afterlife. Okay, so that's why I mean simple, if you get died now, like Charvak says, like Marxism says, like there is no afterlife, right? You just once you get died to die, like there is nothing is going to atma or something, soul or something. Like of course there are multiple like arguments, like counter arguments can be given, but simple is this: they also believed in such kind of philosophy, like where they believe there is something called afterlife. When you get died, you might get another life, rebirth, which we call, you might get heaven, you might get hell, or something like that. So that this is called afterlife belief. So they have grave goods, like whenever they any person with the deceased royal person was deceased, along with him or her, the food, horses, elephants, or even sometimes servants like were also buried along with this. So that kind of thing was there. To distinct burial practices were like were practiced in that time. And yeah, I mean, now even like even after like 16-year old tradition, like 16 year has been 600 years has spent, still annual ritual such as my them Mayfi ancestor worship, that is called Tarpan, liberation ceremony. You must have in Hinduism also Tarpan is something like that only. So liberation ceremony are still being performed, okay, in Assam region. And if we talk about other such kind of things with respect to the history, so in our Indus Valley civilization, which is also called as Harappan civilization, they also believed in this kind of after belief. Okay, they believe have faith in afterlife beliefs. So they also coffin burial has also been found in Harappa. This is actually Indus Valley civilization site. And Lothal, which is in the Gujarat, some examples of pair of skeletons of male and female in each case from together. So they said if you breed together, like so they will get like they will will get mate, in the next life. So they also believe in afterlife, of course, after death. Megalith period is something. It's kind of it's stone age. Okay, the like they also believe in afterlife. The like humans like that. If you talk about like who like gives us kind of like the takes to us, who like decides like whether this site must be inscribed to UNESCO World Heritage Site or not. So ultimate decision is being taken by UNESCO World Heritage Committee only, and it's established under World Heritage Convention. Okay, in 1972 during the like Indira Gandhi government was there, and like government Wildlife Protection Act, the same year was there. And of course, as I said, this is the final state, like the final decision being taken by this committee, whether any site is being included or not in one UNESCO World Heritage Site. And the members, India has been elected to World Heritage this committee for 2021 to 2025. So currently, India is also a member of the part of this committee. And if you talk about The next topic, that is pilgrim corridor projects. During budget, I also discussed during our budget discussion. I have also discussed that the government is aspiring, targeting uh, to construct corridor projects. Okay, to construct corridors with respect to Vishnupat temple at Gaya to Mahabodhi temple at Bodh Gaya. So this is something they want to construct such kind of corridors. It is inspired by Kashi Vishwanath temple corridor in Varanasi. And what actually it mean? Simple, like suppose this is Vishnupat temple, this is Mahabodhi temple. So suppose this is so basically better road infrastructure will be there, better vehicle facility will be there. So everything which facilitates like tourists to go is this place to there. That is known with respect to infrastructure, that is known as corridors. Okay, so just remember this thing. We have many corridor projects, like you can just like pause the map and just look at it. 1 second. Yeah. So in this corridor projects, if in the web road you can use our projects must be aligned with travel for life under the mission called lifestyle for environment. So just use the travel for life. This is the key term. You will get extra mark for it. If we talk about the aesthetic part of Vishnupat temple, it is located in Gaya, that is in the Bihar, on the banks of Phelgu river. It is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. Of course, the name is on the Vishnu as well. So of course it is dedicated. And yeah, very important, very most important thing is it is also is mentioned in the Mahabharata and Ramayana as well. Okay, so that's why it is very important. So just remember this fact. If you talk about the current structure of Vishnupat temple is also was restored by Devi Ahilya by Holkar. Okay, ruler of Indore in 1787. So she was the queen of Malwa region. Okay, as you must we have read about it, like in the June month magazine about her. Okay, so like this time she is very important from UPSC exam perspective. Okay, there must be a question asked with respect to Devi Ahilya by Holkar. Okay, if we talk about so the structure is like this. Okay, Vishnupat temple looks like this. Okay, just look at it. And if you talk about Mahabodhi temple complex, it is also it's located in Bodh Gaya and Bihar. It is also it's actually world UNESCO World Heritage Site. As we talk about Modam, okay, Assam's Modam, which is recently has been added to the list. So it is actually had been listed already. Mahabodhi temple. It looks like this. It's a very spectacular temple, and this fact is very important from this temple's perspective. The Emperor Asoka in 3rd century BC, like they started building this temple. Okay, so just remember the contribution of because the Akbar and Asoka, these two, the emperors are the very favorite of the UPSC, and it's continuously asking questions on these two emperors. The temple architecture is simple. It's classical Indian temple architecture. Okay, and it entrances from east and north. Yeah, you can just remember the Vajrasen, that is diamond sword, which actually marking the spot where Buddha sat and meditated. There are 7 secret sites. One among these is sacred Bodhi tree, where Buddha got enlightenment. Okay, which is located on the west of the temple. And Buddha himself mentioned like there are 4 important places with respect to Buddhism. First is Lumbini, which is the where like Lord Buddha was born. Then Bodh Gaya, where he gained enlightenment, and Mahabodhi tree was there. Okay, that's why it is one of the sacred site. And if you talk about Sarnath, where he like given his first sermon, okay, sermon we call Kushinagar is where he achieved Mahaparinirman. Going to the next section, that is short news. Recently, Ratna Bhandar, that is secret treasury of Sri Lord Jagannath temple, reopened after 46 years. So it was quite in the news. If you talk about Sri Jagannath temple in June month magazine, also we have discussed about this temple. Let's discuss once more because it is very important from exam perspective. So it is located, of course, in Puri, and of course in Odisha. It is also known as White Pagoda. Lord Jagannath, it is dedicated to Lord Jagannath, which is also known as Lord Vishnu. Of course, it is like, and it was built by. This is very important information. It was built by Anandavarman Chodh Ganga Deva, the founder of Ganga dynasty, in first part of 12th century AD. The architecture of this, of course, is Kalinga architecture. We have discussed in the previous lecture as well. So it's look like this. Okay. So this is the Kalai Sharmalak, Bhumi Amla. This kind of things are there. You in the art and culture section, you will discuss kind of things, aesthetic part. Moving to the next topic, that is world's oldest cave painting has been found basically in Ling Karamtong cave in Indonesia, dating back to at least 51,000 years. So this painting is very important. Okay, so just remember this. This is the oldest painting found yet now. So here actually it's How it was determined, it's like this much older. So it was actually the uranium based dating technology was used. There are many dating technology where like through which you can know the age of the like particle object. So there is carbon dating technology also there, but here they have used uranium based carbon dating technology, sorry, uranium based dating technology. And features like studying pig, very small human like figures in dark red pigment were there. And so it's currently it's the oldest non-painting. And earlier, non-painting was also in the Indonesia only. It was 45 years ago. Now it's 51 year ago, 51,000 year ago. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So if we talk Apatani tribe, so basically listen to what happened. There is a frog called horned frog. Okay, from wildlife sanctuary. This Telle wildlife sanctuary that is found in Arunachal Pradesh has been discovered. Basically, has been recovered. Okay, so that's why this is very important because this species has been named after dominant Apatani community in Arunachal Pradesh. So the frog, which is horn, it's like very like it's very rare. Like the frog is having a horn. Okay, so this is very rare. So Apatani tribe is lives in Zero Valley in Arunachal Pradesh. Regional tribe has been included in UNESCO's tentative list. The major festival are three and Mayok. Key dances are Naminda and Three dances. Remember this facts. Little bit not this important, but yeah, you have idea like Apatani tribes in found in Arunachal Pradesh, and they are also included in UNESCO tentative list. Moving to the next topic, that is Moscow Piro, that is mysterious tribe. That is actually, so just remember this. The important fact is they might ask if this term was recently seen in the news. It was with respect to, so it is basically mysterious tribe. So uncontacted indigenous Moscow Piro tribe was located in remote Peruvian Amazon in Peru. It is a South American country. You must be knowing. Okay, so just remember this fact. This is a Mysterian tribe in Peru. If you talk about Indian Newspaper Society, it was inaugurated by our Prime Minister in Mumbai. If you talk about Indian Newspaper Society's origin can be traced by 1927, then when British rule was there in India. Mr. Arthur Moray, he was the first president of this organization. Objective, obviously, press freedom was the major objective, and the central organization or something like that. Just remember. Going to the next ethics, I will not discuss basically the ethics section because it is not relevant as of now. Of course, it is relevant when you will get clear the prelims exam. So I'm just speaking this part. Yeah. If you talk about schemes in the news, so recently smart city mission has been mentioned because the government extended the mission till 31st March of 2025. So if we talk about the purpose objective, so it's promote like its purpose is promote cities with smart solutions with respect to core infrastructure, sustainability, quality of life. So with respect to with the help of smart solutions. Ministry, of course, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs is the knowledge ministry for it. Launch was 2015. Centrally sponsored scheme means there is contribution from both center and state. Currently, funding is simple, like union government provides 100 crore per city per year, while equal amount is being provided by the state or urban local bodies. You need to remember this thing. Like suppose yeah, it's like the fact now, right? So 100 crore is every year being provided to every city. There are 100 smart cities are there. So every year 100 crore city like the fund is provided to this like mission, and the similar amount is being paid by state government or urban local bodies. So if suppose we talk about Mumbai Municipal Corporation, so whether it will Mumbai will is in the list of a smart city, right? Simple. So what happens? This corporation, the municipal corporation, will also like whether the state government or this municipal government will give the fund accordingly. Like whether they divide, like state government and divide, they can divide equally. So currently 100 smart cities has been selected, and a special purpose vehicle has been the responsible for implementation of this project. There are multiple things are there where like integrated command and control centers are there, ICC for basically they actually provide online service to citizens in age of traffic management and health, water, etc. You can get any kind of micro details from them. If you talk about mapping, which the place is in the news. So basically, Tamil Nadu was in the very much news with respect to because the reason was that 300 artificial lifts were deployed over the coast of Rameshwaram. So it is very famous place. You must be knowing Rameshwaram. So that's why Andaman Island. Why it is in the news? Because recently, Charmin James frog, which endemic to island, has been unique. The behavior is like unique behavior has been detected with respect to Charles Dickens frog in Andaman Island, not Nicobar Island. Andaman Nicobar is in the north of the island. Andaman Nicobar archipelago, while Nicobar group is on the south of that. Got it? If you talk about world mapping, So Ivory Coast was very in the news, where it became the first country to roll out first R21 or Matrix M malaria vaccine to children below 2 years. So that's why in the news. It is basically located here, southwest part of Africa. If we took Liberia, and actually aspired to relocate its capital due to recurring flood spells. Continuously flood spells are there, so it's expiring to. It's also located in the southwest of Africa continent. If we took Bolivia, obviously the part of Latin America or South America, you call it. It was hit by economic turmoil because UPSC has been asking, even it has asked about Venezuela. Okay, recently in 2024, the question was whether it's put in the prelims, like whether Venezuela has faced some serious economic crisis or not. Like this kind of question were there. So this Bolivia was also facing some economic crisis. Okay, because of its complete dependence on the US dollar. Okay, so just and also it's became the member of, as we already discussed, Mercosur. And moving to the next, if you talk about Japan, you must be knowing the location of the Japan. It's East Asian nation, and actually it issued new yen banknotes packed with 3D hologram technology to fight counterfeiting. Means there are some people like who can print black notes, like the like counterfeit currencies there. So to curb such kind of thing, they have issued banknote packed with 3D hologram technology. So obviously, if we talk about technology, then Japan is very advanced, especially when the South Korea is also in that race. Taiwan is actually Taiwan. If I have during Mercosur, I have told you there is SEPA. Okay, there is SEPA, SECA, and Common Custom Union. Okay, so in this process, they actually signed this mutual recognition agreements. Okay, so recently India and Taiwan has signed the mutual agreement, mutual recognition agreement. That is MRA for organic products. Okay, so just remember this fact. So this is something all about I had to discuss. You just can skip this kinds of information that are not relevant from exam perspective. So guys, thank you for your time. Now we have officially completed our July month magazine. Okay, thank you for your time, for your patience. Take care. Bye bye.